What did you get recruited as? What did you come in here as?
I came in here as a Raider.
Okay. And so, and when were you switched to tight end?
I switched over to tight end summer going into my sophomore year.
Okay. And just kind of, I mean, did you play that position by chance in high school, or what, did you play offense in high school?
I played a little tight end in high school, a little offense, not too much, a lot more defense in high school.
So what did you think of the change when they asked you to make it?
I was happy for the change. I loved Raider. I had a lot of good time as Raider, but I was like fifth on the depth chart as Raider, and they made the new tight end position going into this last year, and I was like, it's a great opportunity, and I was excited for it.
So, how far did you come along last year as far as learning how to be a tight end in this triple option system? I know in a lot of ways it's blocking. We can talk later about how it's changing, but I mean, how long did it take to get up to speed as far as doing what they were asking?
It took a while, especially because I only had at tight end, I only had fall camp going to like learn technique and everything like that. Like we did steps and stuff over the summer, but not a lot until I got to fall camp. And then fall camp was 2 weeks, and then I had to go do scout team, which was not the triple option offense. We would run everyone else's. So it took a while.
So, Avi, you just answered one of my questions. You ran scout team last year. How much did you learn from the guys who were getting into the game at tight end? And I mean, I think is it a lemma? Is that how you pronounce it, Strauss?
Capono?
Yeah.
Yeah, Capono. Yeah.
I mean, I think he got the most playing time, didn't he?
Yeah, he got the most playing time, but I would say I didn't really learn a ton from that because I was really with them. I was always on scout. I didn't go to meetings. I had to go to scout meetings, so wasn't able to learn a lot during the actual season.
So, how important is this spring in that regard? You're getting actual reps, practice reps, and this is when you got to hone in.
Yeah, this spring has been extremely important for learning, especially the new system, new tight end, learning techniques and everything like that. So it's been extremely important for that.
And where have you feel you've gotten better? Where do you still need to improve?
Definitely improved on like the fluency of the new offense, the new language, like the new lingo. Definitely improved on like striking, being able to block, getting really aggressive because that's what we're preaching to our alignment here is being aggressive, being tough. And so we embodied that a lot and feel like I still got to work on, say, pad level and then trying to bring new stuff to the tight ends like route running and catching as well.
So talk about Coach Williams. He's new to the staff. He's now working with the tight ends. I've seen him after practice taking time to show you guys techniques there. I mean, he seems to be, high energy and really putting a lot of effort in.
Definitely. He's definitely high energy, definitely get after us, and he expects a lot from us. And he'll take any time of his day to help us. And if you have questions, especially I ask a lot of questions, but he'd help us so much with technique and steps and everything like that.
So would it be fair to say that the bulk of the guys at the tight end position right now are converted defensive players?
Yeah, we all are. We all are besides one freshman. Three of us came from Raider, one of us came from middle linebacker, and another one came from D tackle.
So, I mean, I know the coaching staff's goal is to eventually, kind of be like Air Force, where the tight end's a downfield passing receiving threat. Do you feel like the group as comprised can do that? I mean, are they trying to do that now? I know Coach Newberry told us they want to incorporate a tight end, but they're only going to do so with if they feel they have the personnel to do that. I mean, where do you think the group is now with that regard?
Yes, we've definitely been getting a lot better at that position, doing one-on-ones against the corners and safeties almost every practice, working on our hands. Started most of the spring ball as perimeter guys, working on blocking out in open field too, like most of the receivers do now, and then a lot of route running, getting better at that. So I believe the personnel we have can do that. I definitely do.
So I know that it's probably starting with what's coming from the prep school and any direct recruits. There's going to be some guys that were tight ends in high school. They're recruited as tight ends. Can you talk about the challenge? I mean, you all are at the position now, and you want to keep your places on the depth chart, however that shakes out after spring. But can you talk about the challenge? There's going to be some guys coming in that were true tight ends recruited as tight ends.
So yeah, we're gonna have some, I believe, naps and direct. I believe we have 3 total coming in that are actual tight ends, recruited as tight ends. But just because we're recruited as tight ends doesn't mean we can't. Doesn't mean just because we were not recruited as tight ends doesn't mean we can't play it. I believe we bring a great tenacity, and our effort and our toughness is what's going to make us different than them and be able to help this offense a lot.
So, I mean, in terms of the blocking, I mean, obviously that's a big part of having a tight end in this offense. They need to be like another offensive lineman at times. And we saw last season that Alema had several nice, down blocks where he kind of came back in toward the line of scrimmage and maybe doubled up a guy or what I call a crackback, but it wasn't really like that. Can you talk about the importance of that?
Extremely. Our blocking for us is extremely important. It's one of our most valued things we have to do as a tight end, and we are seen as another offensive lineman in addition to the line. So we take blocking extremely important. It's going to be extremely important for this offense when we put a tight end in there.
So I presume, since we're talking to you, that you're doing pretty well during the spring. I mean, how do you feel like you're coming along? I know that there was no depth chart going into spring, but do you feel like you've done what you need to do to get onto the depth chart?
Yeah, I feel like I've made a lot of progress over this offseason through workouts and through spring ball. I've gotten a lot better as well. To be having this conversation with you guys, and I'll continue to do that.
Who else has shown you some things? I mean, who else at the position you feel has done some good things during the spring? Anybody catching passes downfield?
One person that's really caught an eye was Thomas Scully. He's Thomas Scully. He came from middle linebacker right before this offseason, actually, so not too long ago, and he's doing really well. A lot of blocking. I know last practice he was wide open on a route, and they should have thrown the ball, but it didn't work out. And then during Skelly, when we would do that, he has caught a couple of passes, so it's been great.
So what has been the challenge? I mean, you said you didn't really play much offense in high school. You're a defensive-minded guy. What has been the challenge with trying to become a pass catcher or a route runner? Those are not skills easily developed.
Just getting work outside of practice, staying after practice, hitting the sled, working on our steps and pad level, and watching film as well so we can learn the concepts of what we need to do, and just getting reps, route running reps, and just reps of everything, even just staying after and working on the jugs and stuff like that.
Coach, why don't you just tell us why he chose to come to Navy?
Oh, wow. So many reasons. This place is special to me, man, for a lot of reasons. This place has impacted my kid's life, and it's impacting mine as we speak. The chance to come and surround yourself with, phenomenal leadership within an athletic department, within a football team, as well as the team in terms of the players. You just don't turn that down. So I've said it before, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. This is the pinnacle of my career. Doesn't get any better than this.
So kind of what was the connection? I mean, would you have cross paths with Grant or Newberry along the way? What was the connection that kind of brought you here, Coach?
Way back when Coach Newberry was at State, he recruited the junior college that I was the head coach at Itawamba Community College. And we got to know each other, not very well, just very surface level. And then he comes to Navy, and he has the task of recruiting my son, and still didn't know who he was until the day my son came up and competed in a camp. And once the camp was over and they offered my son, then we kind of connected the dots and figured out that we actually knew each other. So from that point on, he's been awesome to my son, and we just kind of built a relationship as I bounced around and he bounced around, and kind of kept in touch with him over the years. And this opportunity presented itself and couldn't say no.
So on that note, I mean, obviously Cole is a long snapper for the team. I mean, how cool is it for you and your wife to be here? You're in Annapolis. I mean, you would have had a hard time coming to see him play or come up to see Navy football games while you're coaching elsewhere, but now you get to be here with him.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, when Coach New offered me the job, I said, look, I absolutely want it, but before I say yes, I want to make sure that it's okay with my son, because this is his experience too. And I did not want to I didn't want to take away from his experience. So after speaking with Cole about it, you know, he gave me his blessings and said, absolutely, get your butt up here. And so I took the job. But it's pretty, you know, it's like I said, it's the pinnacle of my career. I mean, I look around the other day after practice and we're in the huddle and you know, we go to break it down and we touch somebody and I'm touching my son. So that's pretty cool. So I'm, as they say, living the dream right now. And but we've got a lot of work to do. So the family part of it is really cool, but that doesn't take away the importance of the job at hand, which is winning football games and winning now.
So I know you've got extensive experience coaching tight ends. What about option football? I mean, looking at your resume, I don't know that these schools necessarily, any of them ran the option.
Yeah, so I was the offensive coordinator back in 2004, 2005 at Mississippi College. And we were at a time in our program where we just didn't have the athletes that other people had. We're playing in the Southwest Atlantic Conference, the Southwest Atlantic Conference is Division III conference, playing the Texas schools, and they were just better than we were athletically. And you know, so we had to do something different. And so I got with a coach that was on the staff at Georgia Southern that had just moved to Jackson to be the offensive line coach at Jackson State. And he basically shared the whole playbook. So we installed it. So I guess you could say I'm not naked in terms of knowing option football. As a head high school coach, we ran the veer. And then as an OC at the college level, we ran what's Paul Johnson's offense, which is, our double slot option. So I have some experience in it, but it's certainly not my wheelhouse. But I'll be honest with you, I'm so fortunate to have great leadership, starting with Coach Newberry. And then trickling on down to Coach Chestnut. Coach Chestnut's done an awesome job of not only teaching our players this scheme, but also coaching the coaches. So regardless of what system you come from, there's nuances. But at the end of the day, it's blocking and tackling. It's explosive plays and turnovers. And I've been doing it long enough that, I can learn anything. So credit to Coach Chestnut. He's done a great job of coaching me too.
So in terms of, I know that Coach Chestnut and Coach Newberry's goal is to expand the role of the tight end, maybe go a little more in the direction the way Air Force, where he's actually a downfield pass catching threat. Last year was the first time Navy officially listed a tight end. Prior to that had been a big wide receiver would come in the flex, look whenever they did that. But I mean, can you talk about the development you're being charged with? And I know that starting next, I guess in the fall, they're going to start bringing in some guys who are actually recruited as a tight end, as opposed to what you got right now, which is a collection of converted defensive guys.
Yeah. So the room that I took over is by no means a room that's a walk-in plug and play room. The guys that are in that room right now, which have done a really good job of adapting and converting to the offensive side of the ball, but it certainly wasn't a walk-in plug and play room. So we started the spring by really evaluating our strengths and weaknesses of each player and what their dominant traits are individually. Now we're at the point to where we're starting to determine where we fit in as a group into our offense collectively as a position group. So as I said, Coach Chestnut done an awesome job of not only implementing a system, but also drilling down on what our guys do well within that system, and then allowing them to get on the field at the appropriate time to help the offense. So, by no means do we want to take a guy that's a great blocker, but not a great route runner, and put him out there just to run a route, just to be running a route. We want to utilize our talent in the best way possible. If that means we're on the field 10 snaps, or if that means we're on the field 60 snaps, then that's what we're going to do. So the guys have competed well. As I said, they've done a really good job of adapting and learning on the fly. And I've been really pleased with their mental and physical effort. We've got a long way to go. And it's a highly developmental position at every college across America, specifically here.
So you were able to look at film of Capono, number 96. He saw the most action at the tight end position last year, strictly as a blocker. What did you see out of him? And, did you feel like he did a good job in the role they asked him to play?
Yeah. So, quite frankly, when I got here, I kind of clean slated it. I really didn't want to see anything that they'd done in the past. I just kind of wanted to make my own judgments based on where we're at now and through off-season workouts and whatnot. I've been pleased with his effort. Unfortunately, he's been banged up a little bit, and it's kind of prevented him from getting a lot of reps. So I've seen him a little bit in individual, and we've seen him do some unit work, walkthrough type stuff. So, I really don't have enough right now on him to really make a fair assessment, just because he's been unavailable, but I know he's working hard to get healthy, and I look forward to the point where he gets back 100% full and is caught up, so to speak.
Well, we just had DJ Donovan on the previous Zoom presser. How's he coming along? What do you feel he brings to the table?
DJ has taken a lot of reps, as well as Thomas Scully. Those are the two that have really been healthy and been free of injury and nicks and whatnot. But both those guys have done a really good job. Most kids here at this place they're pleasers, they're coach pleasers. They want to do right and they want to be coached. And both those guys have done a really good job of doing what's asked of them. Their effort is always max. Our issue right now is just taking the offense and taking the concepts and understanding them 100% and execution. We talk about elite eat around here, and that's a big part of what we do, the effort, attitude, and toughness piece. They have those things right now. We just lack the perfect execution piece, and we're getting better at that every day. And the only way you get better at something is you do it over and over and over. And so that's where we're at. Every day gets better, and I'm really pleased with their progress.
So obviously, Coach Newberry said at the very beginning of spring that we want to incorporate a tight end more and use them as a skill position player as opposed to just a blocker. But he also said we're not going to, if we don't feel we have the right personnel, we're not going to do that. So obviously, have Scully and Donovan showed you they have skills? Can they catch the ball, run routes? That's what you're probably trying to figure out this spring, if these guys can be more than just blockers.
Right. So, yeah, both of those guys do a great job blocking. Okay. Right now, as I said, when we started spring practice, it was trying to figure out what each person did best and what their dominant traits were. No one in our room is a dominant down the field route runner. Okay. Route running is one of the hardest things to learn as a tight end, getting separation from defenders. And there's an art to it. And we're in the infant stages of learning how to run routes. Right now, I think that we're effective and we can contribute in the short to intermediate passing game. But in terms of being a deep threat or, running deeper routes, that's just not who we are right now. Will we get there? Yes. Will it be with these guys? Possibly, as we learn how to run routes. But there's others that are coming on board as well. And there's always competition. So I expect that those guys that are here now will work extremely hard this summer to become better route runners, and really become better in all phases of tight end play. But there's 3 that we have coming in, 1 from Naps and 2 direct. And we look forward to getting those guys in the room as well. And I hope that every kid we sign is a difference maker and can come in and take someone's spot. That's why we recruit. We're trying to out-recruit every person that's in every meeting room right now. That's the only way we get better. And with better competition, we'll become better collectively as a team.
So the kid at Naps, I mean, he probably wasn't recruited as a tight end, was not a tight end in high school. Would he have been? I'm not sure when the decision was made to go with a tight end, but I don't know if it would have been in time to have been the recruiting class that went to Naps.
Yeah, it would have been.
It would have? Okay.
Yeah.
So it was made
Yeah.
after the 2021 season then.
Yeah, this young man actually played defensive end in high school and played a little bit on offense as well. I've been able to watch tape on all those guys, and I like what I see. I really like what I see. So, like I said, it's really hard for a freshman to go anywhere, whether it's at the Naval Academy or Mississippi College or the University of Miami, and be an instant contributor. That's the goal, right? So, the goal is for those guys to come in and compete as quickly as possible. It's just hard. It's hard for a true freshman, for a freshman to come line up in game 1 against Notre Dame in Ireland and get quality reps. It's just difficult. There's a transition. And when you combine that with the other things that our young men go through during the summer, it makes it that much more difficult. So it's difficult here at the Academy by design, and it makes them a lot better player, further down in their career. But we, like I said, we're counting on all 3 of those guys to come in, and we want them all to play right away. But we just have to see, what happens when they get here.
But I know you said there's 2 direct, but you got more than that going to prep school probably. You recruited a lot more than I think you recruited quite a number of tight ends, right?
I'm speaking of what's coming in right now or after this summer.
Right. But you're going to be sending some other tight ends up to prep school, I'm sure, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. And so you have the most experience with coaching tight ends. I bet you were heavily involved with the evaluation process of all tight ends.
Daily.
Right.
We talk about it daily. So, that position, our coaches from NAP spent close to a week with us here, I guess 2 or 3 weeks ago. And they came in to learn our system and what we do, and talking, about the tight ends and their role in the offense was a big part of it. So we're excited, man. We're glad to be in the tight end business at the Naval Academy. That's for sure.
So how long do you think it'll be before Air Force has gotten to the point where they roll out guys that are the one tight end they had the last couple seasons was like practically NFL caliber guy. Do you think how many years does it take to get to that point where you got A-grade legit tight ends, guys, downfield threats out there? Wow.
I wish I had the answer to that question. If I did, I'd make a lot more money than I make now because I could predict the future. But I don't know. There's the recruiting is not a science. You're going to hit and you're going to miss. You hope to hit more than you miss. I believe in what we have coming. I believe in what we have recruited that we hope will be a part of us. But for me to sit here and say, when we're going to have the next greatest, I'd be lying to you. What I will tell you is this: our plan within that room is when we roll out against Notre Dame in Ireland. Our plan is to be on the field, and if that's not our plan, then we're wrong. So that's our goal. That's our plan. We just have to work to plan.